An introduction to refractional redshift, and how it was confused with gravitational redshift. Vossile effect. Feet Pound and Rebka Nobel awarded scientists, Harvard professors. I would like to introduce a new concept in physics, which is called refractional redshift, or, since I discovered it, the Vossile effect. This is by far the most common and yet unknown type of redshift. It is caused due to the fact that during refraction the speed of light changes and the frequency remains constant. Since f equals v lambda, where lambda is the wavelength, it immediately follows that the wavelength changes too in order to preserve the frequency. This results in an increase of wavelength or a redshift when the speed of light increases, as it refracts in a less denser medium, and in a decrease in wavelength or a blue shift when its speed decreases as it refracts in a more dense medium. Demonstration. F equals v lambda, where v equals Cn, n equals index of refraction, f, c are constant. If n increases equals v and lambda decrease equals blue shift. If n decreases equals v and lambda increase equals redshift. For two mediums with refractive index n1 and n2, wavelength is directly proportional with speed, v1 v2 equals 1 2. The reason why almost all galaxies appear redshifted is because the light emitted by their stars refracts into space, where the refraction index decreases to 1 and the speed of light increases to c, causing the wavelength to increase and shift to red, and probably a tired light redshift is involved as well, which is distance related as Fritz Zwicky explained. For example, during refraction from the sun's heliosphere into space, the speed of light increases and the wavelength also increases and the light gets shifted to red. It is illogical and unscientific to claim that the gravitational potential of the sun is causing this to happen, when it is clear that the laws of refraction are causing the redshift near massive objects, which are all surrounded by dense atmospheres or heliospheres which refract light. This illogical conclusion stems directly from Einstein's general relativity and the famous Pound and Rebka gravitational redshift experiment, which supposedly proved it. But how did they prove it? By placing a bag of helium between the emitter and the detector. Einstein's prediction of gravitational redshift has nothing to do with helium, but with gravity, and helium is not gravity. If you need helium to prove that redshift is caused by gravity, then it means that there is no redshift from gravity. But exactly from helium, which has the same effect to light waves as it has to sound waves. It changes their wavelength. The helium obviously caused a refraction and an increase in the speed and wavelength of light. So what they observed was just a refractional redshift, and not a gravitational one. The only logical conclusion of that experiment is that refractional redshift exists and it was confused, deliberately or not, with gravitational redshift by the researchers. Their Nobel Prize should be cancelled and the Nobel Academy should revise all experiments which confirmed general relativity. Because this experiment did not confirm general relativity at all, and in fact it infirmed it. Since the redshift was caused by refraction, and not by gravitation. This goes to show just how experimentally proven general relativity really is. And how ignorant the scientists who claim this really are. They simply ignore the basic physics of refraction, and confuse the effects of refraction with gravitation. And then jump on the bandwagon of Einstein's relativistic physics, and his relativistic redshifts. Because they were experimentally confirmed, they say. By what? By doctored or ill-conceived experiments which confuse refraction with gravitation. Even Eddington's experiment confused the refraction from the sun's corona or heliosphere with the so-called gravitational effect of light bending. Which is a refractional effect, and the so-called gravitational lensing is nothing but refractional lensing. Just like the gravitational redshift is nothing but refractional redshift. The end. Of general relativity. And of relativistic cosmology. P.S. and no, I don't want a Nobel Prize for this discovery. Thank you, and fuck you.